Slammies is every WWE fan's favorite award show. It is literally our award show where we get to figure out which superstar and which moments become the Slammies. There's going to be a lot of categories today. We're going to go over every single one of them, and I'm going to tell you guys my prediction on who's going to win every single award, why I think they're going to win that award. I think I'm going to be maybe very chalk. If you guys don't know what chalk means, I think you guys are going to agree with every single one of my picks. Now, really quickly, if you guys enjoy professional wrestling content, make sure to hit that subscription button so you guys don't miss any future videos. Now, let's get into these Slammy Awards. Now, the first category that we're going to go into is Female Superstar of the Year. And our nominees for this year are Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley, Bayley, Nia Jax, Tiffany Stratton, Chelsea Green, and Io Sky. And I think this one is super easy. It's super straightforward. I would argue that this person's actually the overall MVP of the entire WWE this past year, and that was Liv Morgan. In 2024, she won the title. She stole Rhea Ripley's man and Dominic Mysterio. She ended up beating Rhea Ripley. She became the inaugural Crown Jewel champion when she beat Nia Jax. Absolutely dominated the year. Obviously ended up losing the title, but ultimately now is the women's tag team champions with Raquel Rodriguez. Everything she did the year was absolutely amazing. She took over the Judgment Day, basically became the leader. Every single match she was putting on was awesome. Every storyline was awesome. Everything she was doing with Dominic Mysterio was absolutely on fire. I think she should win this award by an absolute landslide. She should honestly be the unanimous winner. And there's Slammy, Liv Morgan, all yours. And then next up, we have Male Superstar of the Year. And the nominees are Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, Gunther, CM Punk, Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre, Jey Uso, and Seth freaking Rollins. This one, I think, is another super straightforward one. This guy, you know, his year was amazing in 2024. And I don't think anyone else had a similar year like him. So that's going to be Cody Rhodes. He ended up finishing the story at WrestleMania. He was the inaugural Crown Jewel champion. Won every single feud he was in. I think the only time he lost was to Solo Sikoa when he got pinned by Solo Sikoa. I have to fact check myself, but I'm pretty sure the only time he lost, he got pinned by Solo. Obviously ended up still winning the feud with him. Won every single major feud, headlined all the important cards, pretty much dominated everybody too. Like with the AJ Styles, with Kevin Owens, with Solo, dominated everything, teamed up with Roman Reigns and everything. He was like the runaway favorite. I know a lot of people are going to want to say Drew McIntyre. I just think that it's like Cody Rhodes finishing the story and winning every single feud as the WWE champion and carrying the company on his back up until this point where he got turned on by John Cena. I think it's an absolute runaway for him. I think that he is Male Superstar of the Year, Cody Rhodes. So now we got Most Memorable Entrance, and there's a lot of nominees for this one. So I'm just going to give you guys who I think is going to win this one. And I think this is a 3-horse race. So Cody Rhodes' entrance at WrestleMania, I think. Randy Orton and WWE Bash in Berlin. I think everybody brings it up all the time now of them just absolutely belting his song and all that stuff. And the winner that I think it is, and that is The Rock at WrestleMania. I believe The Rock's entrance at WrestleMania, as much as I dislike The Rock, his character, before everybody gets all upset, oh my God, he hates Dwayne Johnson. I don't care about Dwayne Johnson. Dislike The Rock character, but The Rock himself, that entrance was definitely the most memorable, like that super final boss and the flaming skull and him standing in there with the people's belt. I think that was definitely the most memorable entrance of last year. If they end up giving it to Randy Orton at Bash in Berlin, or they end up giving it to Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania, I really wouldn't be against it. I think all three of those entrances are super memorable. Jey Uso on Raw, Netflix debut with Travis Scott. I feel like that's memorable for the wrong reason, and that was Travis doing a little and blowing it in some kid's face. So other than that, the rest of the names on the list, I don't think were that memorable or that crazy. So this next category is a little bit tough. It is the OMG Moment of the Year. And there is a lot of nominees for this one, but I believe there are probably four moments on this list that I believe have potential to win, and one that I believe will win. Kevin Owens turning on both Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes in October, I believe, was one of the craziest OMG moments. Like, the fact that he hit the pile driver on Randy and then hit that package pile driver on Cody was like an oh my god moment. I was there for the Cody one, and that crowd was like stunned, even though I got them to cheer one more time. If you guys saw the clip, I did start the one more time chant. So that I think is definitely up there on the list. The Wyatt Six debut on Raw, I believe that was like a definitely up there moment. Now I don't know if they're talking about like when they had the backstage moment with Chad Gable basically being knocked out and like us thinking that he literally got killed by the Wyatt Six, or they're talking about their actual debut and then coming out and all that stuff. Either way, if it's one of those, I think that is definitely up there in the oh my god moment. John Cena turning heel at Elimination Chamber by kicking Cody in the nuts was an oh my god moment. But the problem is, I don't really think fans were going oh my god. We were just all stunned. Like, I was at Elimination Chamber, and I feel like everybody was just stunned. No one knew how to interact and react at that moment. It was just pure silence. Everybody just watched him beat the absolute crap out of Cody, and then Travis Scott give Cody Rhodes a black eye. But I think that is definitely on the list. But what I believe will end up being the winner is the match finish for Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns. Everything from when they first started coming out until you had The Undertaker come and take out The Rock, up until Roman deciding on who he's going to hit with the chair and ultimately taking the triple crossroads and losing. I believe that whole entire moment was an OMG moment, and nothing that year lives up to that moment. So for OMG moment of the year, we're going a Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns match finish at WrestleMania. Next up, we have Faction of the Year. The nominees for this one are the OG Bloodline, the Judgment Day, the New Bloodline, American Made, and Damage Control. And I believe that the winners of this one is going to be the New Bloodline. From them forming to them winning the tag team championships to having Solo Sikoa get a pin on Cody and getting to challenge for the world title, I don't think anybody else really had that level of success. You can argue with the Judgment Day, Liv Morgan carried it completely by herself. No one else in there was really that relevant and stuff like that, so it's hard to give it to them. OG Bloodline, really outside of having the whole like war game stuff and coming together, that not really anything. American Made, they really weren't that successful. And Damage Control, too many injuries for them to really like take that like name on that list. Even though the Kabuki Warriors did win the tag team championships, they have Io Sky as champion, and then we're not counting Bayley, I'm assuming, in there. So they are definitely there. So I just think it's between the New Bloodline and Damage Control, but I'm going to give it to Faction of the Year, which is the New Bloodline. So now we're up to Tag Team of the Year, and I do believe there's a clear winner on this one. The nominees are DIY, Awesome Truth, A-Town Down Under, Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair, the Motor City Machine Guns, the Bloodline, the War Raiders, the Judgment Day, Street Profits, Liv, and Raquel Rodriguez. And I think this is a runaway winner with Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair. From them winning the tag titles up until them defending the tag titles nonstop. And then eventually, obviously, with the injury to our girl Jade Cargill and Naomi taking over, I believe that Bianca Belair elevated those titles. Like, they were basically becoming irrelevant until those girls took it over. They dominated everyone, absolutely destroyed them, were on TV the whole time, and just showing off the entire time. You can kind of argue for the War Raiders. They came back, won the titles, but it feels like their titles are so irrelevant now. And everybody else on the list, like, I feel like they didn't have long enough success or like really memorable enough success to be on this list of winners. So Tag Team of the Year, we're giving it to Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair. So we're up to Rivalry of the Year, and this one's a little tough because I know most of you guys are going to say that CM Punk and Drew McIntyre should be the runaway. Everybody thinks that the match of the year was the Hell in a Cell match. I personally don't think it was match of the year. I think maybe it was like the number 3 or 4 match of the year, but I can see the argument for CM Punk and Drew McIntyre being Rivalry of the Year. At the same time, you can see it for being Roman Reigns and Cody, even though it basically ended at WrestleMania and then they became friends. Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley, I think, is another sleeper underdog one. Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley, up until, you know, the whole Rhea disappearing for a little bit act, I think that was Rivalry of the Year if it just kept going and going and going. But they obviously had to tone it down a little bit. She had to defend the title a little bit. Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes is another one I think is a very underrated Rivalry of the Year. But I'm giving it to Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes. I just feel like their rivalry mattered so much more in the grand scheme of things. I think that their rivalry was the most important last year, even though it did end in the first quarter of the year. But it got so many people involved. It got Seth Rollins involved. It got The Rock involved. The whole bloodline involved. Undertaker. Everybody was involved in that. And I just think that it was the most important one of the year. So I'm going to give Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes rivalry as the most important rivalry of the year. NXT Superstar of the Year. This is a runaway. We don't even got to discuss this one. It's Obafemi. Obafemi held the NXT North American Championship most of the year, ends up losing it after like an almost 300-day reign, and then basically immediately goes on and wins the NXT title, defends the NXT title multiple times, and is still literally the most dominant figure in NXT, the most important figure in NXT. They could bring him up right now, have him win the Intercontinental title if they wanted to. There's a lot of great names on the list, like Roxanne, Trick, Ethan, Julia, and Kalani, but it's not even close. Obafemi by an absolute landslide. It's like he is like Liv Morgan for the women's title, for Women's Superstar of the Year. NXT Superstar of the Year, Obafemi, the ruler, by a mile. So the three matches that I believe are in contention are number 1, the CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre Hell in a Cell match. Number 2, the 2024 Men's War Games match. And number 3, Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. I will tell you, a lot of people are going to end up voting for CM Punk and Drew McIntyre at Hell in a Cell. But the Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes match at WrestleMania is match of the year. I believe that is the most important match last year. It was the most exciting match last year. It had ups and downs. You thought this person might win, that person might win. All the people that were involved in it, like from the Usos to Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn. Actually, was Sami Zayn even in it? I don't even know. John Cena was in it. I don't even think Kevin Owens. I don't know what's going on with me right now. But everyone that was involved in it, The Rock, the freaking Solo Sikoa, Undertaker, everyone that was involved up until literally the end with Seth Rollins and the Shield moment. That match had every single piece of a match that you could want. It was match of the year. Might even be match of the decade. I know that sounds crazy to say, but nothing, in my opinion, from last year lives anywhere up to the hype of Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes. WTF moment of the year. Now, I looked at all the nominees for this, and it's tough for me to figure out what they mean by WTF moment of the year. Because, like, when I think of, like, WTF moment of the year, it's kind of like I would think it's more like an OMG. But maybe it's not supposed to be that way. But based on what I think of WTF moment of the year, I think it's got to be the Wyatt Six debut. I think it's got to be the debut of them, with them destroying everybody and then literally looking like every single person in the back died. To me, that was a WTF moment and an OMG moment all in one. I think it's one of the most memorable moments of the year. So I'm going to give the WTF moment of the year to the Wyatt Six debut. Social Star of the Year. There's 2 nominees for this, and honestly, I think they should be co-winners. It's Chelsea Green and Drew McIntyre. I think they've done an amazing job on social media. I'm surprised that the Alpha Academy is not on this list because they do some amazing stuff on social media. I'm also surprised Kevin Owens isn't on this list because he did a great job of building a lot of his feuds on social media with a lot of those car interviews. But I believe Drew McIntyre did one of the best jobs of getting people invested in his character, in his personality, and his feuds in it. Same thing with Chelsea. She did a great job with doing TikTok and social media to get people invested in her being the United States Women's Champion. I think they should split it. Like, I think there should be a co-social star of the year. Because I think they both did a phenomenal job, and it's hard to, like, gauge on who should be. So, like, they should just have 2 of them, give it to both of them, and have them both be the social stars of the year. Now, Breakout Superstar of the Year is our final category, and I think this one is so hard. I'm just gonna be honest with you guys. I was going back and forth after I was reading the names on this list, because every single one of them I feel like has like a claim for Breakout Superstar of the Year because they did break out. But I believe one person reached the pinnacle that nobody else did, and won 2 major awards this year, or not awards, but major things this year that puts them above everybody else. I'll tell you 2 names that I was highly considering before I finally landed on Tiffany Stratton. But I had Braun Breaker making it to the main roster, winning the Intercontinental title, spearing speed and having one of the most viral moments and being this intimidating factor. I believe he was definitely one that I was like, ah, man, I really think this guy might be the right choice. And Jacob Fatu, from the second he debuted by taking out 3 future Hall of Famers in Kevin Owens, Randy Orton, and Cody Rhodes, through basically being the enforcer for Solo Sikoa to now basically being like the face of the bloodline, literally wrecking havoc everywhere he goes, doing crazy things, having crazy interactions. Like his interaction with Roman Reigns in that cage was absolutely nuts. And I believe he went from being just another guy in the bloodline to most people think that he is going to be one of the future faces of the company. So I believe those two were definitely in consideration. But Tiffany Stratton is the breakout superstar of the year. Tiffany Stratton made it to the main roster, ends up winning the women's Money in the Bank, and has a successful cash in on Nia Jax to become the women's world champion, and is now going to be defending her title against Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania. Talk about going from being like the girl that got embarrassed by Becky Lynch for losing the NXT title to her, to being Nia Jax's basically lapdog, to becoming the women's world champion at the end of the year. I don't think anyone else broke out like she did. So when it comes to breakout superstar of the year, I think I have to give it to Tiffany Stratton. Now, I want to know from you guys, based on my list, if there's any you guys disagreed with, anyone that you're like, all right, no, it has to be this person. Let me know down in the comments below. And if you guys enjoyed this video, do me one small favor. Ring that bell for notifications after you hit the subscription button so you can see all my future videos. And make sure to hit that thumbs up so more people can see the video. With that being said, I'm Allenownz. This is much love from me to you guys. Peace.